Hey BookTube, welcome back to the History Shelf. My name is Peg. It's so great to have you here on the day after Independence Day. I hope everyone had a happy 4th of July and no one blew any fingers off with fireworks. Before I hop into this video, which is about a ton of new nonfiction books that I meant to get to you sooner, but for those of you who follow me on Instagram, that's where I mostly posted. I think it also posted on my Facebook page. I just wanted to give you just a personal note, a personal update, because a lot of you out there are like friends. We are friends, and I have a lot of loyal viewers. So if you're new here to the channel, first of all, thanks for checking me out. And if you feel like you don't want to hear this little personal note, just, you can fast forward a little bit. But as you can see, I've got 2 stacks of books I need to get through. So I was going to get a cold drink and get ready for a long video. My last video, well, it was an interview, an author interview, but the one before that I mentioned that our beloved Boomer, our 13-year-old Schnauzer, we thought he had pancreatitis. See, I thought I'd be okay talking about it. Okay. It turned out it wasn't pancreatitis. We did an ultrasound. It was the week before my birthday, and he had a tumor that was growing on his spleen. And it had already the cancer had probably already spread. So we lost him. Martine and I have been we've been grieving, obviously, and still are, but trying to remember our boy with just laughter, and we still talk to him. It's going to be hard. He used to always have his place in that corner bed, sleeping with me, and he would attend all my meetings at work. He was always in the background, but he will always be with us and me. Martine had him for 13 years, and I was privileged and honored enough to know that sweet, sweet boy for 9. And losing him, well, it was losing my own dog, obviously. He worked his way into my heart. He was an easy dog to love. And there's Goldie. She says, yeah, I miss him too, So now I'm just trying to steel myself for the... it's so hard when you have pets, especially when they get older. And Goldie's 14. And I honestly thought that we'd lose her before Boomer. But I wanted to thank you all for your kind comments on my Instagram post. I put up a bunch of pictures of Boomer and just thank you for your care. And we both thank you. And yeah, it never gets easier. I've gone through this so many times. And each animal is a unique personality, a unique being, unique soul, and it's always a pleasure to know each and every one. So now I'm just telling Goldie, I'm like, you better stick around for a little longer, because I'm not ready to I can't lose anyone else this year. It's been a rough year, and I'm only halfway through it. Okay, guys, so thank you. Thanks for, obviously, there was a long hiatus. I feel like it was the week before my birthday, and so there you have it. All right, now we're going to move back onto books. I'm going to be making more videos because I've lost so much time over the last 3 weeks, and in the meantime, a slew of brand new history books, nonfiction, fiction, historical fiction, mysteries. I get everything here at the History Shelf, and we've got a lot to go through. So thank you for this moment, for this personal moment, and now we'll move into new books, new nonfiction books. So what I have here is an eclectic mixture, but let me start off with something I've been meaning to show you. It's a really interesting type of coffee table book, and I thought it was fascinating. It doesn't take long to read. It's mostly like pictures. I don't know if I have many viewers from Hawaii out there, but let me put this over here. I gotta make space for all these books I'm about to pile up and show you. But for those of you in Hawaii, this was this was an interesting book. I had never heard of this before. This is, well, I never heard of this woman, but also just I didn't know that how these were made. Anyway, this is called Edith, I think I'm going to say Butler, or it could be Butler. Edith Butler, Beautifying Hawaii with Color by C.J. Cook and Robert L. Harnd. So look at this beautiful book here, okay? This is a photo that has been hand-painted, like a black and white photo that was hand-painted, and Edith Butler is the artist. Pioneering colorist in a monochrome world. This is from South Pacific Dreams Publishing, and the publisher was like, would you be interested in checking this out? And I said, absolutely. Look at how rich. I mean, there's so much cool stuff in here. There's Hollywood history in here as well. But let me just give you a quick rundown on what this book covers here. So Edith Butler was one of the foremost American colorists of the 20th century. Color film for photography was unavailable until 1942, when Kodak first released it to the public. Before then, photos could only be taken in black and white, and fine artists were hired to colorize them. One of the best was Edith. In the 1920s, her painting skills were sought after by universities, corporations, and Hollywood. In 1934, her partnership with Eastman Kodak in Hawaii marked a pivotal moment in her career. In Honolulu, she began teaching the public oil painting of black and white images of Hawaiian beaches and flowers, selling these colorized photos for Kodak, and painting geographical maps of the South Pacific for the U.S. government before World War II. Soon after the Pearl Harbor attacks, she opened the first of 3 color art shops. Let's see here. And then it brings in her daughter here. Edith's daughter, Sally, initially brought the family into the international spotlight as a Hollywood movie star. So her daughter was a starlet. However, what shines through is Edith's immense pride in her daughter's achievements, as evidenced by her collection of Sally's movie photographs and the love and support she gave her daughter through her many difficulties. Sally's movie images, along with Edith's colored depictions of Hawaii, exquisitely adorn this book that celebrates their bond. So let me jump down here a little bit. Edith broke the societal norms of her time, excelling as an artist, entrepreneur, and matriarch. Her legacy is not just inspiring, it embodies defiance, artistry, and an indomitable spirit that continues to captivate audiences today. So just very, very rich artwork and colorizations of these photographs, and that is her daughter Sally that she, look at that. Let's get a picture of Edith in here. I mean, these are just beautiful. I just love that. The net thrower, the photo by Frank Warren and painted by Edith. So how cool is that? Let's get a picture of Edith. I'm gonna have to show this to Martine. She knows a lot about early Hollywood, just history, actors, actresses. I'm gonna ask her if she recognizes or knows about Sally Phipps, silver screen comedienne. So that's her daughter. Let's get a picture of Edith. Let's get a big picture of Edith. Oh, here's one. And there's Edith right there. She colorized that. So isn't that a fascinating book? And it's an interesting, if you like to have like interesting coffee table books out, I think this one, especially if you're from Hawaii and you're really into just knowing the history of, Hollywood in the early 20s, 30s, and 40s, 40s. Well, I think she goes back even further in that. Well, anyway, Edith Butler, Beautifying Hawaii with Color. Check it out. Similarly, I got an advanced reader copy of, I mean, this is kind of different for this channel, but I want to show it to you anyway because it's such an interesting, I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but someone out there might really be interested in this one, and I want to show it to you. And if there's anyone out there who is really into this book, let me know, and I will send it to you. I've looked through it, and it is a fascinating look at this woman's her career as a she is a psychiatrist, activist, and a Jungian analyst. She's written a lot of different books, and this is her, I think, her autobiography of sorts, but it's like another big coffee table size book. This is Ever Widening Circles and Mystical Moments, Autobiographical, Historical, Spiritual, and Psychological and Political. And this is Jean Shinoda Bolin, MD. It's an advanced reader copy, but just look at this, guys. I'm just going to try to... This is very... Everything is... We've got a lot of illustrations, and it goes into her life, initiations, very interesting ways of designing the pages. As far as this is like a graphic artist kind of went nuts here, you know. Look at all this. Well, okay, so let me just give you a little bit on this. This book is a long-awaited memoir by Jean Shinoda Bolin that invites readers to journey through a life interwoven with personal experiences and historical events. The book begins with Bolin's childhood, marked by her Japanese-American family's forced relocation from California following the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So that part will very much interest me. Because like I've said in another video a few weeks ago, that I've really been reading a lot lately, either by happenstance or by intention, a lot of Asian American history, and I've been loving it, just loving it. Whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, I've just been dabbling in a lot of different books and writing reviews, and it's been an education, and I really just been broadening my sense of, what different ethnic groups have brought to this country and the things that, they've made this country better, so it's been fantastic. This experience, her forced relocation, along with her early eye surgery and frequent moves to different states and schools where she was perceived as a, quote, exotic other, deeply impacted Bolin's worldview and led her to pursue a career as an author, activist, psychiatrist, and Jungian analyst. Throughout the memoir, Bolin examines the archetypes, synchronicities, and mystical moments that guided her life choices, including her decision to pursue medicine, her evolving relationship with spirituality, her work as a Jungian whistleblower and leader in the women's spirituality movement, and advocacy for circle gatherings as part of the Millionth Circle Initiative. She candidly shares her personal challenges, including her brother's struggle after a birth injury, the complexities of her marriage, and her son's battle with neurofibromatosis. Bolin emphasizes the importance of finding meaning in life, even amidst adversity. True. She encourages readers to embrace their authentic purpose, using her own experiences to illustrate the significance of love, gratitude, and the power of collective action. In the comments below, anyone, I would love to share this with someone who maybe is even really knows this woman, or not personally, but I've never heard of her. And in fact, I might try to do a quick read through before I send it off, because it is fascinating, and I do enjoy reading about people's lives. So, but I promise, if anyone below would love to have this, and will read it and enjoy it, or pass it along and spread the love, let me know. Of course, remember, this is an advanced reader copy, so once you get it, it's yours, and you can't do anything with it. You can't donate it to a library, and you can't resell it. But let me know in the comments below, and if I have more than one person, what I'll do is I'll just put it in like a spreadsheet, and then do a generic, what do you call it, sort, or where it randomly picks one person so that it's completely fair. Luck of the draw type of thing. So let me know in the comments below if you would like a copy of this. Okay. The rest of these are kind of a hodgepodge, and I know, and some of these you might have seen on this channel before in advanced reader copy format, but I wanted to show you that I've got some final copies, and I have seen these books on other channels. This one in particular I've seen on David Murphy's channel. I'm so glad that David Murphy is back. David is upping his game. I mean, I got a GoPro, And I kept meaning to make some vloggy type videos, right? I've just been so slammed. Sometimes I'm working as late as 9 o'clock at night before I even eat dinner. And so I'm wanting things to slow down in life so that I can start making things where I'm taking a walk outside or something, because I love watching those type of videos, and I have been wanting to make those type of videos. I also want to start filming in my parlor room, and I'm going to be using this and maybe a detached microphone so that the sound quality will be good. But so David, I've been watching your videos and they're fantastic. I love your vlogging, very artistic. But anyway, this is, I need to remember what David said about this book. I think he had some issues with it. I don't know. But I'm eager to jump into, I think Johnny Keene has this too. Capitalism and Its Critics. I got a finished copy from the publisher, which is Farrar, Straus and Giroux, FSG. Thank you so much. History, From the Industrial Revolution to AI by John Cassidy. And it is a, let me see here. This came out, earlier this year. I know I've talked about it before, so let me just say really quick that this is a Capitalism and Its Critics tells an expansive story that illuminates the deep roots of many of the most urgent issues we face today, from widening inequality and the ecological crisis to technological transformation and resurgent authoritarian politics. It goes into, it visits with familiar names like Adam Smith, Carlyle, Marx, Luxemburg, Keynes, Polanyi, and then it goes into more lesser-known figures. John Hobson, the original theorist of imperialism, Eric Williams, the Trinidadian author of a famous thesis on slavery and capitalism. So this has got some meaty stuff in it, and I love it. So I just want to show you that this is finished copy. It's looking good. It's on my list of items to get to. Another finished copy I received, and it's beautiful because it also has a little ribbon. And I'm not sure if I've shown this already on the channel. I know I showed you the arc of it, but for those of you who enjoyed William Dalrymple's The Silk Road, he's got a brand new book out, and this is from Bloomsbury. And this is a finished copy of The Golden Road, How Ancient India Transformed the World. How you doing there, Goldie? How you doing, baby? So I was really happy to get a finished copy of this because I have his Silk Road downstairs, and this will be a wonderful companion to go with it. Let's see here. I'll just try to read you a little bit of what's going on with this one. For a millennium and a half, India was a confident exporter of its diverse civilization, creating around it a vast empire of ideas. Indian art, religions, technology, astronomy, music, dance, literature, mathematics, and mythology blazed a trail across the world along a golden road that stretched from the Red Sea to the Pacific. So Dalrymple draws from a lifetime of scholarship to highlight India's oft-forgotten position as the heart of ancient Eurasia. For the first time, he gives a name to the spread of Indian ideas that transformed the world, from the largest Hindu temple in the world at Angkor Wat to the Buddhism of Japan, from the trade that helped fund the Roman Empire to the creation of the numerals we use today, including zero. India transformed the culture and technology of its ancient world and the world today as we know it. I'm jumping down. It says, yet somehow this vast Indosphere, stretching all the way from the Hindu Kush to the Pacific, has never been recognized, has never had a name until now, which he calls the Golden Road. So I'm excited to tap into this. The Golden Road by William Dalrymple. This book is beautiful. It even comes with a little ribbon to keep your place. And a lot of color photographs, art. Got the statues, of course. Who doesn't love history? This, to me, it's never dry or boring. This is fascinating stuff. Look at this. This is a gorgeous book, guys. From Bloomsbury, William Dalrymple's The Golden Road. Out now. Oh. Okay, so this is another one. I should have kept this one with the David Murphy book. I think he's already read this one, probably reviewed it. This one is from Portfolio Penguin Books. This is out now. This is Choke Points, American Power in the Age of Economic Warfare by Edward Fishman. Did you get that, Goldie? I read it last night. Unimpressed. Sorry. Choke points. So let's see here. This is the epic story of how America turned the world economy into a weapon, upending decades of globalization to confront a new authoritarian axis, Russia, China, and Iran. And you could probably add us at the end of that at some point, authoritarian. Sorry, guys, I got to start speaking truth to what's happening because it is historical. We're living through historical times, and what's happening is appalling. So, it used to be that ravaging another country's economy required blockading its ports and laying siege to its cities. Now all it takes is a statement posted online by the U.S. government. In Choke Points, Edward Fishman, a former top American sanctions official, takes us deep into the backrooms of power to reveal the untold history of the past 2 decades of U.S. foreign policy. As Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Ayatollah Khomeini wreaked havoc on the world stage, mavericks within the U.S. government built a fearsome new arsenal of economic weapons. Successive U.S. presidents have relied on these weapons to address the most pressing national security threats, for good and for ill. Choke Points provides a thrilling account of one of the most transformative developments of our time, demystifying how the U.S. government harnesses the power of Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and big oil against America's enemies. At the center of the narrative are the trailblazing diplomats, lawyers, and financial whizzes who have masterminded America's escalating economic wars against Russia, China, and Iran. Choke Points is the definitive account of how America pioneered a new, hard-hitting style of economic warfare and how it's changing the world. So it does sound fascinating. I'm probably going to learn a glossary full of the spelling out all the acronyms involved here. I'm always trying to learn more. Economics is not my forte, but I'm very excited to always learn something new. So between the capitalism and its critics, and then Choke Points, American Power in the Age of Economic Warfare, I think I've got some challenging books. And hopefully from different ends of the spectrum. I don't know if they're coming from similar places, left, right, middle, whatever. I like to get a balance, So that's another new one. Oh, I just want to say this. This is another recommend. I know this. I've talked about this book in the advanced reader copy version. I love this biography, and I'm just recommending everyone, if you love Civil War and you love biography and antebellum American history, Civil War history, Reconstruction, you need to check out this new biography of Charles Sumner, Conscience of a Nation by Zakir Tamiz. I was really impressed. Very impressed. I feel like this guy left no stone unturned. He didn't focus, which a lot of people today, when it comes to writing about figures from the past that might be, like, for example, that might be suspected to be, gay or lesbian or whatever, and people just turn that into their end-all and be-all. He talks about it in a very, but he doesn't go on ad nauseum. He just says, you know what? In that day and age, they didn't really have that vernacular, and they didn't, he probably was gay. He doesn't spend a lot of time agonizing over it or championing it. He's just like, that's just who he was, probably. But he still did get married. It was a very unhappy marriage. It was a late marriage. But anyway, this is a wonderful balance of just his career in Congress, from his early days as a lawyer, and he was trying to find his way. And then when he hit upon that seat in Massachusetts, and then he never looked back. And this man lived out his principles, except in one area, which Zakir does mention. It's like Charles Sumner had all of the qualities that you would want in someone who was trying to make civil rights for everyone a reality, except for the Native Americans. He was kind of left, he didn't have a lot to do with that. There's a couple times where he spoke about how what was happening to them was wrong, but I think, at any time and place, everyone's got a blind spot, and I think for Sumner that was one of them. But other than that, this book, an amazing read. I highly recommend this. This is from Henry Holt Publishing. I wrote a review, and I can't recommend this enough. Talk about colorizing black and white photos, right? So there you have it. As Martine would say, I don't know why she would say that. She's funny. She likes to be irreverent, and she's like, only a gay man would have hair like that. I'm like, really? Because I don't think so. They just had weird hair back in the 19th century. You know, I think, especially for men, you know, it's like, what did they do? You know, he's got this little sideburn going on, and then but tell you what, very handsome man. When he was younger, I guess he had the ladies swooning. Look at this guy. Right here. Very handsome. So I could see that. They would come to see him speak in the well of the Senate, and ladies love Sumner. But I think he liked his male friends more. Anyway, Charles Sumner, Conscience of a Nation. My personal imprimatur of thumbs up. I say you should definitely read it. Okay. Can't remember if I showed you this book either, but this one's been out for a few months now. It's actually, it came out earlier this year. And I requested it because I have his other book. This is Michael Walsh. And this is A Rage to Conquer. 12 Battles That Changed the Course of Western History. It's put out by St. Martin's Press. And we're at 26 minutes, so let me kind of pick up my pace here. Yes, this is his... Oh, this is a sequel to the other book that I have of his. I think it's behind me. It's a sequel to Last Stands, where he expertly examined the lengths those doomed in battle will go to survive and perhaps win against all odds, showing the power of self-sacrifice. So this is his sequel, A Rage to Conquer. It's a journey through 12 of the most important battles in Western history. And Walsh duly notes that war, horrific as it can be, has been an essential part of the human condition since the beginning of time. Okay. My docking station is the fan keeps turning on, so I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully we're going to be able to get this video uploaded. Walsh shows that battle is the principal agent of societal change, waged by warriors for myriad reasons and causes. In this book, he brings the history of these crucial battles to life, highlighting a group of courageous commanders and battles they waged that have become crucial to the shape and course of our world. So, the 12 critical battles and men behind them include von Clausewitz, obviously, on war, Achilles, the Trojan War, Alexander at Gaugamela, Caesar at Alesia, Constantine at the Milvian Bridge. We're going to go down Napoleon at Austerlitz, Nimitz at Midway, Patton at the Bulge, and all the way up to Battle of 9/11 and how it was ultimately lost by the U.S. So, A Rage to Conquer. Happy to have the sequel to Last Stands. You know, I love my military history, so I wanted to share that with you as well. All right, let's move over here. I've got a couple of really interesting books I wanted to show you. This is a wonderful reference, and you could, you don't read it in one sitting, but you go to it, especially if like you're reading a book or a piece of literature from this era. It's a literary encyclopedia, and this is put out by, is this Reaction Books? Who is the publisher? RB. This is printed by Rare Bird Books. This is 1925, so it's nothing on the cover. 1925, a literary encyclopedia by Tom Lutz. I have been paging through this, and it's you just dip in, and there's different entries for what made this time interesting. Like it says, introduction. Why 1925? The year 1925 has been called the Annus Mirabilis of American literature, and for good reason. Talks about the Great Gatsby, Theodore Dreiser's American Tragedy, Gertrude Stein, The Making of Americans, Hemingway's first and best book in our time, Ezra Pound's first book of cantos, T.S. Eliot's first collected poems, on and on. So it says the year was arguably the peak of literature's centrality in American culture. This book will give you, it will make your TBR just explode, because I'm going through here and I'm like, wow, I haven't read this. This sounds fantastic. And it's just an encyclopedia. It goes through it alphabetically. And wow, what a reference. It's written very well, and I've been reading these entries, and they're very kind of colloquial and informal. It's not dry at all. So I like it. I think this is a fantastic reference. So if you're into, like, this period in American literature and letters, 1925, a literary encyclopedia from Rare Bird Books. Check it out. I think you just type in, well, you could probably find it on Amazon, but if you want to find it through like a local bookstore or order it, just go to the Rare Bird Books website to find it. But thank you for this awesome reference book, and I'm happy to share news about it. Yeah, it's well over, it's almost 800 pages, so just tons of references, and I think you might enjoy that. I know I have been. Let's see. So these are a couple of new ones that I'm really excited about. This is from that new publisher I've told you about. I think I tell you about new publishers a lot, but they've been sending me some new books. This is from a publisher called The Experiment. And this is a brief history of the world in 47 borders. So you talk about a book that you just want to kind of pick up, read a couple chapters, and then sit down and walk away and come back again. This is another one where you can just pop in, learn about a border that might be on your mind. The subtitle is Surprising Stories Behind the Lines on Our Maps, and this is by John Elledge. It's a beautiful naked hardcover. So though borders can seem arbitrary at times, the lines on our maps have had profound effects on world history, obviously. From the first maps in Egypt to the reason why Bolivia, a landlocked nation, maintains a navy. I did not know that. Yet we often don't stop to think about how our maps might look completely different if a specific war, treaty, or decision by a handful of tired statesmen had gone a different way. The history behind the borders that divide our world is both complex and fascinating. So this book tells the story of human history through 47 significant borders, condensing thousands of years of world history into a little over 300 pages. John Elledge focuses on the key borders that have defined our past and present. Oh, check this out. I love this part. From Detroit's city limits, yay, Detroit, to borders in outer space. With his signature humor, Elledge reveals roadmaps to the most crucial issues affecting modern-day geopolitics. Yeah, I've already read a couple of these little chapters. They are so enlightening and fun. Doesn't take itself too seriously, It's not boring, because you got to have the humor. We've got the open border policies of Genghis Khan. Oh, look at this. How did I not notice this? I was actually reading some of the other ones in the middle. Oh, I might have to let them know. Hopefully they didn't print these like this. I just discovered from page 21. I think I've done this before when I've worked at a printing press, so it happens. From page 21 to 36, it's upside down. I did not notice this until just now. But anyway, I was looking at some of these other ones, like Britain and France carve up the Middle East. Oh yeah, the Korean DMZ. Hell yeah, that's fascinating as well. So yeah, I might have to just reach out to the publicist and say, hey, I got this finished copy, because it is a finished copy, and I hope maybe in their second printing they'll fix that. I don't know how many of these were. I'm just going to do my due diligence and tell the publicist that some of the pages were upside down. But anyway, A Brief History of the World in 47 Borders. I think it's interesting. Let's make sure that they fix those upside down pages, though. All right. A new book coming out. Not until October. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. You know what? We're going to hang on to this because I'm going to do a new history or new, I think this is memoir. Is this memoir or is this a history? You know what? I'll give you a teaser. This is called We Survived the Night by Julian Brave Noisecat from Knopf Publishing, and it comes out October 14th. It's a stunning narrative from one of the most powerful young writers at work today that interweaves oral history with hard-hitting journalism and a deeply personal father-son journey into a searing portrait of Indigenous survival, love, and resurgence. I'm going to come back to this again in a new fall history lineup. I'll come back to this book as we get closer. I think I've shown this book too as well, but I'll just show it again here. This book's coming out September 23rd from Farrar, Straus and Giroux. This is an author I've never read, but I've heard good things about her. I often will read works by writers after I've read their biography or read something about them because that makes me interested in their work. I don't know, do you guys have that similar kind of reaction? I guess I lost my audience. Goldie she just, as they say, she fecked off. But this is Electric Spark, The Enigma of Dame Muriel by Frances Wilson. This is the advanced copy. And Frances Wilson, an award-winning biographer, presents an exhilarating new look at Muriel Spark, the most consummate artist of the 20th century. Like I said, sometimes I will read a book about an author, and then I'll decide if I want to read some of their work. Most of the times I do, because I'm so very curious. I always want to know more. And I've been meaning to read The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. That's one I really want, and I'm trying to figure out what edition of it I want to buy. I've been seeing a lot of different types of publishers are putting out different paperback copies of it, and I'm trying to find the best one. But anyway, let's see, what about Muriel Spark? There's a lot to read here, so let me just say, okay, when Muriel Spark invited Martin Stannard, the biographer of Evelyn Waugh, to write and publish her authorized biography, the expected outcome was not the actual one. A blizzard of recriminations and lawsuits threatened by the ever-litigious Spark. This immense difficulty faced by the would-be biographer of Spark is what lies at the center, of Frances Wilson's scintillating Electric Spark, which focuses primarily, though not exclusively, on Spark's life leading up to the publication of her first novel at the age of 39. Spark kept almost every piece of paper that passed through her hands during the course of her life, and her 2-mile-long archive is dangerous terrain for the invading army of biographers, filled with landmines in the form of laundry receipts. That's fast. So she was a pack rat. She hoarded all of her paper. It is Wilson's contention that Spark's archive and her own autobiographical statements and writing were artfully and intentionally constructed to mislead while also hinting at the truth, and that, moreover, the novels, which in Wilson's reading form a complete and self-referential cycle, all find their subjects in the uncanny experiences of the first 39 years of their author's pre-novelist life. Fascinating. From her childhood in Edinburgh to her rise to celebrity in New York when the New Yorker ran the entirety of The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie in a single issue, Spark accumulated the material experiences that would both anticipate her writing and be anticipated by it, whether it was serving as part of the psychological warfare effort against the Germans in Second World War, being blackmailed by a mediocre inamorato, converting to Catholicism, believing that she was being sent coded messages by T.S. Eliot, or when finally publishing her novel about the Eliotic experience, discovering that her debut was almost identical to a novel published at the same time by Evelyn Waugh. Spark's experiences were doubled, foreshadowed, and the perfect material for her exemplary novelistic career. You're back! She just can't get enough of these books, everybody. So I'm interested in learning more about Spark so that I can actually really maybe appreciate her work more once I start to tap into it. Do you need to go outside? One moment. Okay, and finally, to close out this video, I've got 2 books on tech, emerging technologies. And for those of you who are interested in AI and what the future holds for that, I've got a couple of 2 books that kind of look at the digital age and AI, and I know with my own job, I am tasked with kind of understanding AI and what it can do for my organization. But I was very closed off to it in the beginning. Didn't like it. It was like, no, human beings. Let's have human beings do work. There are some benefits to AI, lots of pitfalls. So I made it a goal of mine to be as on top of AI as much as I can, and to read things that are coming across my desk here, whether it's in the journals I subscribe to, magazines, journals, or the books. And I got a couple books from 2 different publishers. This one is out right now. This is Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI by Ethan Mollick. This is a book I'll be reading just for my own professional development and seeing what I can glean from it and what I'm tasked with doing at my work. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the publisher of this is from Portfolio Penguin. It's a Penguin book, but Portfolio is the imprint. About 200-page book. This is from a Wharton professor, AI expert, and author of the One Useful Thing newsletter. And it's a clear-eyed, pragmatic, and revelatory vision of our new age of generative AI. After a few hours of using generative AI systems, Ethan Mollick writes in the introduction to his book, it dawns on you that you are interacting with something new, something alien, and that things are about to change. The nature of this alien intelligence and how it will change the way you work, learn, and live is a story he tells in Co-Intelligence. Through his academic research, media appearances, and hugely popular Substack, Mollick has emerged as one of the most vital voices in the AI conversation. In his signature lucid and eye-opening prose, Mollick marshals cutting-edge research and dozens of real-time examples of AI in action as a co-worker, co-teacher, and coach to show how humans can collaborate productively with AI. He also argues that our AI future is much weirder and coming much faster than most people think. Mollick shows how AI empowers English majors and art history experts more than coders. Impacts knowledge workers more than blue-collar workers, true, and upends the concept of homework, even as it makes teachers more important. Instead of the cold, logical AIs of science fiction, we ended up with AIs that are bad at math, but that beat humans on creativity tests and can cleverly summarize entire manuscripts. Oh, makes me nervous. After being given this one, ChatGPT wrote... So as an example, they fed the manuscript of this book through AI, through ChatGPT, and this is what ChatGPT wrote to summarize it. The book insightfully delves into the symbiotic relationship between humans and AI, a subject close to my digital heart. Mollick dissects the complexities and unfolds the potential of our intertwined futures with nuance and foresight. Oh man. For readers and AIs alike, this is a masterful guide to understanding our collective journey toward an intelligent partnership. Open the pod bay doors, pal. Open the pod bay doors. Hugely thought-provoking, optimistic, and engaging. Co-Intelligence shows that what it means to think, work, and live with smart machines, and why it's imperative that we master that skill, and that's what I am tasked with. So this will be on my my professional reading for this summer, and yeah, I gotta see where this fits into the scheme of things. The second book, more of a kind of like a, I don't know, kind of comes at it from a more of like a humanistic sense of how do we cope with this new world, and this is Searches, Selfhood in the Digital Age by Vahini Vara. It's a very interesting book cover. So, and I think this is by is this published by Pantheon? Let me check real quick. Yeah, Pantheon Books. So this is from the author of The Immortal King Rao, which I haven't heard of, but was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. It's a personal exploration of how technology companies have both fulfilled and exploited the human desire for understanding and connection. So, when it was released to the public in November 2022, ChatGPT awakened the world to a secretive project, teaching AI-powered machines to write. Its creators had a sweeping ambition to build machines that not only could communicate, but also could do all kinds of other activities, and better than humans ever could. But was this goal actually achievable? And if reached, would it lead to our liberation or our subjugation? Vahini Vara, an award-winning tech journalist and editor, had long been grappling with these questions. In 2021, she asked a predecessor of ChatGPT to write about her sister's death, resulting in an essay that was both more moving and more disturbing than she could have imagined. It quickly went viral. I have not read that, but I'm sure they might reproduce that in here. The experience, revealing both the power and the danger of corporate-owned technologies, forced Vara to interrogate how these technologies have influenced her understanding of herself and the world around her. From discovering online chat rooms as a preteen to using social media as the Wall Street Journal's first Facebook reporter, to asking ChatGPT for writing advice, while compelling her to add to the trove of human-created material exploited for corporate financial gain. Interspersed throughout this investigation are her own Google searches, Amazon reviews, and the other raw material of internet life, including the viral AI experiment that started it all. So that will be interesting to read how it wrote about her sister's death. That's awful. Searches illuminates how technological capitalism is both shaping and exploiting human existence, while proposing that by harnessing the collective creativity that makes humans unique, we might imagine a freer, more empowered relationship with our machines and ultimately with one another. So, I'm also going to be reading this for my professional, I think this one's going to be, like I said, it's a more personal take on it, but I'm trying to master as much as you can master in a technology that's constantly evolving and getting stronger day by day. So I'm just trying to keep up with it. So AI aficionados, people are interested, consider these two books maybe to add to your TBR. But that's my stack of, I still have a few more over here, but I think I've already shown these. Sometimes I lose track of what I've shown you because I get so many. But anyway, and this is a 50-minute video, so, but I know it's been several weeks. Thank you for staying with me if you have this entire time. I will be making, like I said, more videos are coming this week. Thank you again for all of your support, your well wishes, your sympathies. Boomer will live on in our hearts forever. And thank you again for coming and seeing us here at the History Shelf. I will be back soon. So take care out there, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.